Let's make sure everything's all ready and set up. Yep, everything looks already ready to go. Don't know if anyone will tune in for this, because it's kind of late, but you never know. Alright, now apparently we've got people coming in here. Let's see. Get the chat up. Welcome, NASCAR Cat Car. Welcome to the stream. Sorry it's a little late night. This is just sort of a chill stream. One of the last I'll be doing before, you know, the actual video comes out. Because I've been doing the streams for a while, but I haven't actually released a video per se. Yeah, it's a bit of a late stream. Let me just refresh right now. Alright, we had a few more people coming in. Hi, Roger Briggs. Got a question for you. Sure. What is it? This is the stream to ask. Everything seems to be going well. Again, this is just going to be a sort of chill stream tonight. Welcome, Fred, and welcome back, Random. I was actually in the middle of watching your previous live stream. Oh, all right. I'm sorry. I mean, this will be archived, too, if you were, like, right in the middle of watching it. If you can go back and do that. You don't have to. You could stay. I just didn't want to interrupt you if you were watching something. Is it telling that the critic hasn't released a video today? Does that affect the platform credibility? Okay, I just want to address something right here. Like, I'll continue answering these questions about the document, but I kind of just want to move away from that, so try and just keep those questions to a minimum, just so we can have, like, just discussion going on, like, so it's not, so this stream doesn't, you know, become solely, like, a change the channel stream. But in answer to your question, excuse me, answer to your question, Roger, I wouldn't say it's telling yet. It'd be telling if he did it next week, because, you gotta remember, they record the, videos, they do all the setup in advance, they do it 1 week prior. Granted, when they recorded was when the document did release on April 2nd, no, April 3rd, would be when they start, no, April 2nd, because the video came out, yesterday on Channel Awesome, so, yeah. How long will the stream be? As long as we want. It doesn't matter. I'll probably cap it off around 11, 12 o'clock, but other than that, there's, like, no set time limit. If you guys want, you can even make suggestions, like if you want me to play a game or something, just for, so we're not staring at this all day, this screen. What is your favorite color? My favorite color is orange. I know it's kind of weird considering, like, my entire channel is in, like, a blue aesthetic, but I just think that looked cool just from, like, making a channel, and, like, thinking of what would be, not eye-catching per se, but what would just be, like, cool, relaxing colors. But if you want my absolute favorite, it has to be orange. Hey, did I miss anything? Nope, you're not missing anything. This is just a little discussion live stream before I release the video in, I want to say, like, a few more days yet. I don't know, I'm still It's still in like the half planning stages, half actually starting the video, which is kind of weird. Like it's been a while since I've done really anything on the channel for a while. I'm just trying to figure out what I can do to move past like the drama stuff, because I do want to cover those other subjects, but I also don't want other videos getting in the way of that. Anyway, now I choose. You don't mind if I finish off your previous live stream? I'll be sure to watch this one. Yeah, go ahead. I mean, it's random. It's your choice. I was just saying, like, you can stay, you can go, you can do whatever. It's fine. How about reacting to Dark Manners by Kelly Elise? Well, yeah, I'm not gonna do that just because reacting's kind of. I would love to, but I would advise against that because YouTube and React videos kind of don't mix, and I'd rather not get rather not have to deal with copyright issues. What's the video on? Okay, so what I'm thinking of for the video is kind of a dissection of, and this is gonna sound strange because I haven't really done anything like this on the channel. I don't know what the impression is gonna come off when I release it. It's sort of a like pillars of, like, not a pillars. That's the other guy. Sort of a dissection of Sonic's gameplay styles and how it evolved, and how Sega experimenting with the character over the past 20 to 30 years just kind of helped the character, stay relevant and sort of become who he is, rather than people saying Sonic should be like in a certain era or a certain style, or like, I don't know. The point is, it's just a video I kind of wanted to make just because I feel like it'd be an interesting topic to talk about. My only issue is that I'm still trying to figure out what style I want to do the video in. And I don't want to do it in like the change the channel way where it's just like nothing on a black, like nothing with just a plain background. I want to do something with it. Tired of drama. Review soap operas. Wait. No, I got it. Do I like the Sonic Adventure games? I mean, myself personally, I'm more a fan of the Boost games, but those are the ones, because those are the ones I grew up with. But I can see the appeal in the adventure games, and I do like how they play. I mean, again, I have my own nostalgia for the Boost format because I grew up with Colors, Unleashed, those types of games, which is really strange considering people grew up with so many of the other games before. I like adventure. I don't love it. It has its issues. But in terms of what it did for the series and transitioning to 3D, it did its job. It did it well enough. That's funny because I did plan to play Sonic 2 earlier today. By the way, hi. Hey, Henrik. Welcome back to the stream. And yeah, that's really strange. Like, yeah, I don't really have anything else to add to that. Do you know your family tree? Yeah, but that's not information I divulge here. You grew up with Colors, not that old. Okay, bad phrasing. I first found like the Sonic series through Unleashed and that. But like I didn't grow up with it per se. It's just the one that I've been most attached to. I'll just put it that way. See it. Bye, random. Hope you have fun watching the other video. My first Sonic experience was Sonic Spinball. Really? How was it? Like, how was it looking back, or when you played it? Sorry if I'm a little quiet right now. I'm just trying to answer something somewhere else right now that just came up. How many Marvel Cinematic Universe films have you seen? Okay, this is a little weird. I haven't kept up with the Marvel Cinematic Universe as of lately. Um, I haven't kept up with it since around Iron Man 3. I saw every single one of those movies prior, and then I just sort of fell out of it and kind of lost interest. I did see Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 though. So that was fun. It was a fun movie. My first experience with Sonic was DeviantArt fanfiction. Oh, Zach, I'm so sorry. Hey, Extreme, it's me, your boy, the queer. Oh, wait, is this queer? Do I know you? Are you the same queer from that I know from Discord? If so, hi, welcome. Fancy seeing you here. Yeah, welcome. Then, for those of you who don't know, queer is I know queer from a Discord server they're in. I won't divulge what server it's in for now, just for a matter of privacy. But queer's really cool. They're really nice. Superhero and comic book movies really annoy me because nothing else makes money anymore. It's either badly made comic book. Well, that's not. I kind of agree. At the same time, I I don't know. I personally like more animated movies. I can't speak for like the live action sorts of things, and I do think the comic book slash superhero movies have kind of been oversaturated as of late. But if you dig hard enough, you'll be able to find some good movies these days. It's like the new zombie boom. Yeah, exactly. Um, I had fun with it. Not really a true Sonic game, but as a themed pinball game, it was alright. You can probably get an emulator for it pretty easy. It's worth a try as something different. Hmm. Yeah. Oh, I got the feel. I got the feeling it was not a true Sonic game because it's a pinball game. Um, but that's good to know that it's actually really alright, all things considered. I may actually check it out. Do I have a Switch? I actually do. I only have one game on it right now, but I plan to get more in the future. That one game is Super Mario Odyssey. And I do plan to get Splatoon 2 as well, and definitely Breath of the Wild. Those are like the two ones that are really high up there. I'm suffering from Marvel fatigue. Yeah, that's kind of what happened to me too. I just sort of became like really just bored by it. Do I watch Rob Eger? I actually don't know who that is. Um, I may know them from seeing some of their content once. This is the weird thing. I watch a lot of random YouTubers here and there, but I might not know their names off the top of their head, but I might, like, consistently watch their content. I just haven't subscribed to it. Like, a good example right off the top of my head is I can think of Optimus's videos, which, even though I don't... They're just something I put on the background to listen to. I don't really think much of it, but I know him because of the videos that he's made and because of, like, the thumbnails, titles, etc. Alright. That's over and done with. Now I can re-engage back with chat. I'll probably watch Black Panther when it comes to Netflix, so I don't have to pay attention to it entirely. Yeah, I actually don't have Netflix. I've used it. Someone at college here has it. Actually, there's a spot there that has it, and we do occasionally use it, but I don't actually use it myself, so I know Netflix is good for binging stuff, so I wish you luck on that. Who are my favorite YouTubers? As of now, or as of, like, when I first started out and I'm nostalgic for at this point? Because I have a few different answers. Because, like, my tastes in YouTube are kind of, like, always changing. So, like, I'm never a, like, stay on them for... Rarely am I ever a stay with the channel for a long amount of time, because I'll usually just get bored of it. Like, I'll give you a great example. When Let's Plays were at their peak, like, I used to just watch those just nonstop for their commentary, and then it just sort of faded out. And during that time, some of the really big ones that I can think of are, off the top of my head, Koopa Kung Fu, Game Grumps, Markiplier, Jacksepticeye. I think PewDiePie was still doing, like, full-on Let's Plays before he started doing the more random shitposty content. Or the random, like, the more randomized content, I should say. Who else? I know there were a lot more than that. Tom Fox was one. The Runaway Guys. Chugga Conroy, who I actually do still watch occasionally. He's one of the few Let's Play YouTubers who I've actually still consistently watched. Both of you, I'd like to see all your answers. Alright, so... those are sort of the ones from, like... Oh no, there's Peanut Butter Gamer, there's, like, Catacris. Actually, if you want, I could just go through my subscriptions list, because I rarely unsubscribe to channels. I mean, besides the big one that I showed on stream. But, like, I have, like, cataloged some of them. Some of them are inactive now for various different reasons. But I do still have them all there, so I might as well just do that. And I think a lot of them I still actually consistently watch their content whenever they post it. You like Jack's films. I've heard of him, I've watched a bit of his content. I have not watched enough of it to get an opinion on it. I like what he's done so far, though. Let's see. I might skip a few of these, because some of these I don't watch, but I just have them subscribed because, I don't know. For me, the best channels are the educational ones, the comedy ones, and the animated ones. Oh, Komodo! I actually know you from one of the other Discord servers. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, same here. Like, well, educational ones in the sense that, like, they offer a bit of education on, like, a certain subject, but they're also funny to boot. So yeah, I guess comedy ones. Fucking love Jack's films, would recommend. I really do have to check him out. I especially have to check out some of his Emoji Movie stuff. Because I heard, like, that was, like, that was the one that got him like the most attention. And it's the like to the point where, yeah, yeah, I'm from Cypher Hunters. Yeah, that's the Discord server. That's the name of it. It's a it was like a huge Gravity Falls, um, a Discord server that was really huge during the whole like hunt for the Bill Cipher statue. But yeah, let's actually go through this list. So, all right, from A to Z or most relevant new activity. Yeah, from A to Z, we'll just go down a list. There's Accursed Farms, who is Ross Scott. You might know him from stuff like Freeman's Mind, Ross's Game Dungeon, Dead News Network. Love his stuff. Still watch like it whenever it's posted. He just posted a new Game Dungeon that I've yet to see. I'm probably gonna watch that right after the stream. And I'm currently watching Freeman's Mind 2. I'm all caught up with the series. I just can't wait to see what he has, what more he has to say on that. There's AC Fan 120, who you might recognize if you watch the Runaway Guys. He does the animations for their channel. He does some of the more well-known ones. He's also a moderator on Proton John's channel. Quick thing to note, Proton John I actually follow on Twitch, but I haven't subscribed to his YouTube channel, and I know he doesn't post YouTube videos that much anymore, at least not like consistently as he used to, because he's now moved to Twitch, and I actually prefer him on Twitch. But I do have to subscribe to his channel and just go through like his whole history, his backlog of going through those games. But yeah, AC Fan 120. You'll know him from that. He did a lot of the Dr. Egg parodies for the Proton John streams. And he did an animation for Koopa Kung Fu a while back. Jack Soma's Two Sides. His YIAY stuff is honestly not that good, but the skits he's done are godlike. I've heard that general consensus as well. Watched Jack Soma since 2010 to 2011. But watched him less after YAY because 3/4 of the video is the video and 1/4 is a sponsor. Ew, yikes. Alright, let's continue. There was, what else was there? There's Alpha Omega Sin. He pops up here and there. Like he comes in peaks and valleys of activity. Sometimes he'll post like a shit ton of stuff frequently because he has a lot to say on it, and then other times it's just completely dead. And then people wonder where he is, and he's like, "Are you dead?" But no, he's not. He streams. He's still on like Twitter and that. He's there. I mostly just watch his YouTube content. I don't even really follow him on Twitter. Today's video is sponsored by Audible. Audible stands for some of these I do have to clean out though. Angry Joe Show. Haven't watched a lot of his other stuff recently. Like because it's just like I kind of got bored by it in a sense. I need to watch his newer videos because he still has like a good output on it, and for those that are going to bring it up, for those that are going to bring it up, no, I'm again, don't harass the people that are still at Channel Awesome for that. They've already said their piece on this. There's Animated James, who I subscribe to. That was like one I subscribed to a while back. He no longer posts content, and I think I have to like. He's not active. He's really kind of strange on Twitter, DeviantArt. I might have to change this. Again, I have to clean a lot of this out. There's Ant Dude, a video game reviewer. He loves Kirby. He did a couple of retrospectives. I found him through his Jack and Daxter retrospective, and just stayed with him for his normal reviews. Love his content. I love the more review format content as of right now. Um, but yeah, uh, Quentin Reviews is great. Your Movie Sucks is incredible. Um, yeah, I've actually gotten around to seeing more of Your Movie Sucks' stuff um, since the last few streams, and yeah, it's just like really good shit. And Quentin Reviews, yeah, he's great. Love his stuff. I've watched nearly every single video of Quentin Reviews. His videos, like, even his like old videos are just so like, they're kind of shittily made, but they're so eloquently put that the commentary makes up for the lack of video quality. Let's see. There's also Balrog, who is known for Balrog's Game Room, which is another review show. He's sort of kind of wishy-washy on content, but he does upload. And when he does upload, the stuff he uploads is really good. It's really well edited, well put together. Yeah, I got nothing else to say to that. Apparently people think Ant-Dude and him look a lot alike. I mean, I kind of see it, but there's also, who else? Oh yeah, Bennett. Bennett the Sage. Anime Abandoned. If you've stuck around for the Channel Awesome content or Channel Awesome stuff, you know who he is. He's the guy who reviews anime. Like the guy who reviewed anime for Channel Awesome. A lot of people are recommending a lot of their favorite YouTubers in the chat as well. It's cool. Like at this, yeah, just like talk about it. I like just seeing this discussion. I love Anime Abandoned. Me too. It's actually really good. Like it's so. Also, props to Bennett, really quick, for getting into shape. It sort of convinced me to like sort of, because like I'm not the healthiest dude either. I'll just say that much. It's gotten me to like look at myself in like a new perspective and try it inspired me in a way to kind of get into a healthier position. Will I get to where Bennett is at? I don't know. But yeah, good on him. Captain Disillusion. Get this. I feel like I've heard that name before. I have the hiccups. I feel like I've heard him before, but now I should probably check him out. Did Film Brain leave Channel Awesome? Yeah, he did. The coverage of it is in like the other video, or the other streams rather. It's also just like on news sites if you want to find it. I also got put on Know Your Meme, which was kind of surreal in a way, because I've like gone to that site a few times and that's one of the sites that I'm more knowledgeable on its existence, and to just see my video up there for Change the Channel, the first one, was it was weird. Yes, so did a bunch of other big guys. Yeah, exactly. Just watch the videos and you'll see yeah, you'll see what happened. There's a small reviewer called Bob Show, who is sort of he also took like big inspiration from earlier reviewers, and he sort of found like a niche of his own, but it's still the same sort of like nostalgia critic type review. It's really good. Again, this is just gonna be a shill stream for my subscriber list, honestly, at this rate. Have I seen The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo? No, I actually have not seen that, and I've not read the book either. I just never found any interest in it. There's Branson's, which is the offshoot of CinemaSins. There's Brandon Turner, who he's an animator. He originally got known for his Game Grumps animations, but then he branched out into like doing animation for Ed's World. He did animation for Oni Plays. He did animation for Super Mega. Guy's really talented, and that's coming from he originally made like really crappy 3DS animations using Flipnote, and since then he's gotten his like evolved his style into what it is now. It's like amazing how much it's evolved in such a short amount of time, like 3 years, I want to say. Do you see with the boy with the dragon tattoo? I don't. Is that a thing? If so, I've not seen it. I haven't watched Ed's World in forever. Me neither. Well, mostly because there's not much new content. Like, the thing with animations is that it's very rare that you have, like, animations that are long-lasting or that you go back to. There are a few. Like, two off the top of my head that I can think of are the Mystery Skulls series of animations, because there's just so much in them. Like, they put so much detail into every little thing that every rewatch is sort of just find something new about it. But like Ed's World is just sort of a... Okay, I shouldn't say that. Early Ed's World is really rewatchable because Ed just hid a bunch of other, like, references throughout. The jokes are really funny. It's something you could... It's something, like, you could feel would be rewatched on TV. Like, and you just enjoy it. It had that sort of, like, unique feel to it. And post Ed's death, like, it still had that in a way, but it felt a little too polished, and it sort of lacked that kind of charm because they sort of were obligated to do it. Ed made those cartoons to, you know, make them. And sorry about that. I have some in my throat. Ed made those cartoons just to make them. He did them purely out of passion because it was just jokes he thought was funny. And Tom, like, Ed wanted Tom and the rest to keep his legacy alive, essentially. But then they put on Ed's World Legacy and sort of made it into a job, and it sort of took that aspect away from it. Up until the end, because that was a collaboration of every single animator. There was less, like, weight on Tom and Eddie's and the rest's shoulders. Thoughts on how it should have ended? Are you talking about Ed's World and how I think the show should have ended? Or are you talking about, you know, how it should have ended, like, the series on YouTube? Because if you want my opinion on how it should have ended, I watched their stuff, like, in a brief stint years ago, and I really liked it. I thought it was kind of smart at the time, and I just have not watched since. I didn't even know they were still a thing. Oh, another YouTuber I like is SwizzlyBubbles. No, that guy's kind of a dick, you know? Like, I've heard he's such a, like, a fucking shill. He only was a one-trick pony, would change the channel. Fucking scumbag. Do you think there will be a disaster artist? Oh, speaking of which, the Channel Awesome comment I forgot to read. Do you think there will be a disaster artist type movie? No, I don't think there will be a movie on Channel Awesome. It's just let it fade into obscurity. Still sucks Stieg Larsson could die before he could finish the series. Oh, right, the tattoo series. Yeah, that does kind of suck. I mean, yeah. I can't speak for, like, the fandom on that, because I don't know anything about those books, but I did hear about that, and that was kind of really sad. It was the same as, like, when, why am I blanking on his name? Shit. Oh, I feel bad. Why do I blank on really important names in the live stream? Monty Ohm. It was like when he died, during while he was making, Ruby. That was, like, a huge blow for the series, because he was so involved in it. Like, anytime a creator dies, when they're in the middle of, like, trying to finish up a series, And trust me, like once we get lower in that subscription list, I'm gonna have a lot more stories to tell about those creators, and how they just had stopped or what had happened. It's just really sad. Am I a sports fan? No, I'm not. I'm a fan of animation. Uh, I like to read. I love video games and all that. Not so much into sports. Maybe football occasionally. Um, I guess you could say I'm a Bengals fan, but other than that, nah. I don't really follow sports. Uh, let's keep going down through the list. Just so we can get through this quickly, and then we can go back to other discussion. There's Brown Man, who, if you don't know, he's from Achievement Hunter, from Rooster Teeth, and he just branched out, does his own thing now, and he mostly does live streams where he completes games to get like just a higher game score. That's like thousands upon thousands of games being completed, because like any gamer score just gets you like 20 in the score, like 20 whatever their thing is that they count at best, and that's just like phenomenal. Like I could never do that. It was fortunate that Monty had everything written until season 5. Oh, he did. I didn't know that. I actually didn't follow much of Ruby after Monty died. I didn't follow much of Rooster Teeth after. Actually, no. Did I really follow much of? No, I watched a lot of Red versus Blue and a bit of Ruby. I didn't know we actually wrote up until season 5 of that. Well, at least he thought ahead. Gotta give him that. Pixar, Disney, or DreamWorks? Right now, here's the thing about the animation industry. Like, so much of it could change based on what's happening in time. Like, for a while, I thought Pixar was really good. Then I thought DreamWorks was really good. Well, Pixar and DreamWorks were always at odds ends, and then Disney was just sort of lacking behind. But now, if you were hard pressed to, like, ask me to pick one, Disney. Just flat out. They have some of, like, in all their departments, they have, like, they hit a huge hit with Frozen, regardless of your thoughts on that movie. It's just, like, it cannot be understated how successful that was for the company. They've had Zootopia. They've had, like, hit after hit after hit. They've had, even on their television networks, they've had Star vs. the Forces of Evil, Gravity Falls, Wander Over Yonder. Like, again, it's just really good content. Very rarely do they ever, like, make kind of shitty, like, low quality. I shouldn't say that. Disney Channel's live action is still a thing, but even that's sort of getting taken care of, and all their shows are being moved from Disney XD to Disney Channel. So yeah, they're on top of their game right now. I don't know how long that's gonna last. I have a feeling it's gonna go like the Renaissance and the Golden Age before it, and it's just gonna go down, down, and down until Disney hits another dark age. But for now, Disney's doing really well. It's such a shame Wonder Over Yonder didn't get renewed for a third season. It is, but I'm more sad that they had to cram it all into the second season. Like, they had a whole storyline planned out, and they're like, oh, storylines aren't our thing anymore. And then they just cancel that, which is a really bad excuse, because Gravity Falls and Star vs. the Forces of Evil were things during, like Star vs. the Forces of Evil had its, like, first ever sneak peek during the premiere of the Wander Over Yonder pilot. So, like, those two shows were already intertwined and already had their... Well, now, Star vs. the Forces of Evil had season 1, and that wasn't really plot-heavy. But it did have Gravity Falls during that time. And, yeah, the whole reason of them just like, oh, we don't want the episodic show thing, that was bullshit. E-Rev versus Chuck Norris. Who wins? Neither. They just create a black hole and suck in everything in the universe with their pure, unadulterated godliness. Um, I should go back to the sub, but here's the thing. I'm just gonna run through the rest of this sub list because I now have made a commitment to myself and I'm gonna get through it. But I keep getting sidetracked because each of them has like their own little story to go along with it. But I will go back. I will go back and forth, read the chats, and then go back to this, just so we have like a constant thing going throughout the stream. There's Cat Icarus. I have a lot of the Hidden Block producers on here. Two of the like multi-channel networks that I think actually have stood out pretty well and have had that like they were really good with drama and they didn't let themselves become too corporatized, I should say, unlike Channel Awesome, were Normal Boots and Hidden Block. Because they still seem very in tune with their fan base and they just sort of seem like a moniker of like these groups together, but they still are all their own individual things. Like I don't think of Hidden Block when I think of Cat Icarus, even though it's at the beginning of their videos. I just think of them as Cat Icarus. These conundrums, which has not been updated for a while. There's a new one, a new addition to this, which was Camyosh, who's a Homestuck / Hive Swap animator. And he's kind of sort of an upstart channel right now, and he's also gotten mild attention for doing like this Pokemon / Homestuck sort of Let's Play. I don't know entirely what it is because I haven't watched it. I just know it's one of the big things on his channel. But the guy's also, he's like, his editing skills are pretty good for being like a new channel. If that makes any sense. Like really cool dude. Really nice, really honest. He's, yeah, just check out his stuff. There's Chaseface. His style of reviewing is kind of sort of what I'm like, those styles of reviews where it's just experiment with it, which is kind of why I'm more leaning towards the next video, the Sonic video, kind of being in that style. I'm still toying around with it, but who knows, we'll see. There's Chugga Conroy, I already explained about that. There's CinemaSins, who I still do watch on occasion just as background noise, but for the most part it's just, are just there. I think their content's alright. Cinemassacre, aka Angry Video Game Nerd. Still love their content, still love whenever the nerd episodes are posted, love James and Mike Mondays, Monster Madness, all that good stuff. It's really good. Just check them out. Commander Money 456. Actually, I haven't watched him in a while. He was like a huge Sonic, like, LP, like, he was a huge YouTuber for a while. Before he got big, he did like a guest appearance with Koopa Kung Fu, and then just his popularity exploded when he did the Sonic stuff. There was stuff going on with like him and someone else. Like there was like this whole huge thing about it that sort of affected his life negatively. But I think he's on the right track now, and I think he's still making the videos. I don't know the full story on that, but whatever. Be right back. Alright, I'll see you soon, Henrik. Alright, I have to go. I'll see you guys on another stream. See you, Komodo. Thoughts on Rick and Morty and Shrek and B-Movie. Okay. Rick and Morty. Loved all of it. Loved Season 1, Season 2. And okay, I shouldn't say I loved all of it because I have mixed feelings on Season 3. Season 3, I think, started off really, really strong. I didn't have as much of an issue with the episode Pickle Rick as a lot of people did, but it did sort of, it gave me the first, like, real vibe of, like, okay, focusing way too much on the B plot when, like, the A plot is still happening, and then it just, like, culminated with addressing the problems that Rick had, but not really doing anything about it, which, I mean, I get was the point of the, like, that's the whole idea of Rick's character. But at the same time, like, they didn't do anything, so it was kind of a wasted episode. And then, like, Beth and Jerry got back together after the whole divorce plotline, which, I mean, many, including myself, initially argued that was for kind of the more mediocre episodes. The Beth episode, the one with like, who was it? It was when they went to like that Beth's imaginary land, like, and there was a kid that was trapped there. Like that at the end, just like having the possibility. Spoilers for Rick and Morty season 3. When Beth was, maybe had this clone, and then real Beth went off and had like these really cool adventures outside of there, and maybe having that potential for her to come back for like seasons afterwards and see like what happened to the real Beth. But then you like don't know if that is the real Beth or not. That was really legitimately interesting. And then they ruined it by the end by just saying, oh, she's just not a clone, and then everything gets reverted to how it was season 1. Like, none of the past season mattered. Whereas before, all the seasons had this, like... I mean, they sort of gave off, like, that none of the episodes really mattered in a way, but they still felt like there was something happening. Everything still felt like it had a place, and it was building upon something. Like, season 1 didn't really have that. That was more episodic. Season 2, they started building upon that. And then, like, Rick got captured at the end, they broke out of the Citadel. Everything sort of seemed back to normal. But then, like, Beth and Jerry got the divorce. You were uncertain of what was going to happen. But then it just... all that gone by the end. Which, I mean, alright. I guess going back to the episodic model works, but... Where was I? Shrek. I thought the Shrek series was fine. I really liked 2. But the rest of the series was kind of mediocre. Like, okay, Shrek 1, on a scale from good to mediocre to bad, the first Shrek was mediocre. The second Shrek was really good. Third one was just, like, kind of garbage. It was bad. And then it just capped it right back off at mediocre with Shrek Forever After. It's kind of in the middle of mediocre and bad Shrek Forever After is. That's my base thoughts on it. B-movie, I liked. I liked it for what it was back from what it was. I haven't actually seen it in a while. It's a really weird movie, but for a kid's film, it was alright. I liked it. I thought it was funny, actually, when I was younger. Especially the Ray Liotta bit. Actually, that still cracks me up every time, because they just literally made Ray Liotta just ham it up for that entire thing. It just animated him. It just made him... It's so good. If you haven't seen that, look it up. Look up that clip. You'll have a good laugh. Thoughts on Steven Universe? Oh, okay. Now we're getting into, like, the really bad fandoms. Forget the subscriptions list. Let's just have this be a cartoon. Like, just ask me about cartoons or whatever, and let me just go on a huge rant about the... Alright, Steven Universe. God, where do I start? Okay. Season 1 is... When I first watched it, I liked Season 1 of Steven Universe. I thought it was good. I thought from coming off of Adventure Time and Rebecca Sugar trying to make her own thing, when it was the first season that aired, I actually really liked it. It still had that Adventure Time kind of style to it. But it didn't come into its own thing of, actually keeping a storyline yet. Then comes Jailbreak. And then comes... Spoilers ahead for Steven Universe, those of you that haven't seen it. It was, like, we got to learn about Garnet, how she was split into Ruby... Or, like, how she was a fusion. My bad. Like, she was split, by... I think it was Jasper? I can't remember who sliced her in half, but, like, they split, and then you found out, oh, like, everything was true. Like, the little, red and blue things in the door, they were actually Ruby and Sapphire. And that was really cool. And then season 2, was it season 2? I don't know, there was a really weird, like, period where, like, they mashed, a bunch of the seasons into one, like, season 1 through season 2 through season 3, or season 1 was its own thing, then season 2 and season 3, I think, were mashed together to be season 2, because they were, I don't know. Point was, the first, two-parter came and went, really good. Second two-parter comes along, where we learn about Lapis, and that's like, I'd argue even better because it introduced Lapis Lazuli, this new character we've never seen before. We learn even more mistrust about the crystal gems, and it's just sort of going into more like the mysteries of what exactly happened during like the war that happened on Earth, like what was the crystal gems? What was the rebellion? What did rose quartz even really do? Keep in mind, we didn't learn that. I don't think we learned yet that Rose shattered Pink Diamond. But then then they build upon that, and then we see Lapis like fly away. Okay, then that happens. Then we get Peridot's redemption arc. I love Peridot as a character, by the way. That's kind of like the one consistent thing that they've been able to kind of sort of get right throughout most of the seasons is that Peridot as a character has changed. Peridot's been kept relatively the same for both good and bad. Welcome back, Henrik. I'm just kind of bitching about Steven Universe for a bit. I've noticed several cartoons start episodic and goofy, but then get storylines and are really serious. Yeah, that tends to happen, for a lot of series nowadays. Because I think what happens is that they have this episodic thing panned out, but then they realize they could do a lot more with the characters and sort of lean on with their potential with them and like make up this lore for the universe. The problem is you have to keep that momentum going or finish with it because like you can lose that very quickly and you can start to like actively piss off your audience if you keep going on for too long. Case in point, then we go back to Steven Universe. We find out that Jasper comes back and that we find out that Lapis I'm thinking of the wrong thing. It was I mixed those two up. It was did Jailbreak, when did Jailbreak happen? Because I think I got that wrong, where it was that the first two-parter was the Lapis one, and then the Return and Jailbreak happened, because they had already captured Lapis by that point. Do you like Scooby-Doo? I do, actually. I like that series. I like most of the iterations of it, barring, the exceptions of one. Like, I even liked some of the Scrappy stuff when I was really, really young. Nowadays, I'm just sort of indifferent to it. Yeah, at least they don't do the very special episode shtick that sitcoms used to do in the 70s and 80s and 90s. On a very special episode of Clone High. God, I love that series. But yeah, that was such an annoying trope back in the day, and I'm so glad that Phil and Chris parodied that in Clone High. Clone High, if you guys haven't seen it, check it out. It's a phenomenal series. It's so short, and it ends on a cliffhanger that'll just keep you fucking begging for more. And it sucks that Phil and Chris didn't make more, even though they want to make more. But it's such a good series. But where was I? Oh yeah, Steven Universe. So yeah, that happened with the Jasper and Lapis. They fused, and then Lapis held Jasper prisoner at the bottom of the sea. It was all really interesting. It's really good. And then that's when the Townie episodes started getting really obnoxious. And they kept focusing on it. And focusing on it. And then it never stopped. And then the hiatuses got longer. And then we get Lapis back after the gems defeat Malachite, and now we learn there's Steven's lion apparently has something connected to Rose, and then we got more town episodes, and even more town episodes. They tried to defeat the cluster, but then that turned out to be like just like a giant gem cluster at the like core of the earth. And then it just got solved like that by just a giant bubble that Steven made, and then that completely destroyed any sort of, uh what's the word I'm looking for? It destroyed any sort of build up that it would have had otherwise. And then we got even more towny episodes. Then we get introduced to, I think it's Greg's brother, who is voiced by Carl from Aqua Teen Hunger Force, as a Thanksgiving episode, and he's kind of a bit of a racist. Well, not a racist, but like definitely he's got something going on. They were trying to send they were just trying to send a message, and then then they just sort of go off and do like a bunch of this other side stuff that we didn't really need, because then Steven and Lars get captured, and then like Lars dies, which, like it sort of like revived his character from what he originally was, both in a literal sense and a figurative sense. And then like that would have been like really cool if it wasn't for two things. Number one, CN Zap had already, ruined that twist for so many people. That was the other thing. Cartoon Network and their advertising kind of screwed over a lot of, really cool things that they've been building up. They ruined Bismuth, they ruined Peridot, and Lapis. Like, they were about to, like, get their own arc with the barn, and that they were, safe. They ruined the, like, new arc because they were trying to advertise the app, and then that's a whole other mess. The hiatuses on top of that didn't help either. So yeah, then we learn about there's more corrupted gems on Homeworld. It was really cool seeing Homeworld, though. I'm not gonna lie. But do you see the problem I'm having here? Is that before, it was like build up, we got to learn more about the lore and the world, and now we're kind of not. It's just that all the cool stuff is happening, but because it's all being seen from Steven's perspective, we don't get to see any of it. This is just like, I should rename the stream to like the Steven Universe Bitch Fest stream, because I've gone on for like a good few minutes about this, but luckily we're getting to the end and then I can answer some of the chat's questions. And yeah, like then we learn, oh, Sadie quit from her job at the Big Donut. Cool. Okay, but now how is she gonna like work, and how is this gonna impact the rest of the town? And B, then we have the stuff happening with Lars where, Garnet and Steven are teleporting to Lars and they're trying to spread like this message of like the rebellion and how like the corrupted gems can help them out. Okay, but do you know would have been probably a better idea to make sure that Lars' parents knew he was okay? To, inform Sadie or anyone that Lars was alright? But no, instead we gotta focus on more town episodes. And then all the cool stuff that's happening with, like, Lars and the rest, you don't get to see any of it. And then, like, we get these really cool episodes. Like, there was something where, like, Garnet couldn't have her future vision for a while because they were in a place where it just didn't apply. This was a whole like uncharted territory of her, but that was only for one episode. We only get like these hints for like one episode. It's never built up anymore. It's just here's like a bunch of townie episodes and a bomb, and then just the one thing that everyone's really looking for. Because Rebecca Sugar made the gem stuff interesting, but it's kind of clear that, like, she wrote the gem stuff around, like, her original idea of having Lars and Sadie themselves as a comic, but it was like, okay, well, I can't just do that and, like, have all this happen, even though she probably could have, because it was, like, And so she had to like make the crystal gems and all that stuff just to originally pitch to the network as an interesting idea. And now like we're getting all the cool stuff with Lars happening, and we don't get to see any of it. It's all got to be held from Steven's perspective. Steven's like just it has to be from there because it's the name of the show, Steven Universe, so it's all got to be told from his perspective. And the other thing too is that gets me is the animation errors in the show, um, which people say, oh, that's just storyboarder style. No, watch Scott Falco, half the size of Garnet to like quite literally 1/16 in the next shot. I'm not even joking. Um, and that's where the series is at right now. And I told you I was gonna go into a rant about Steven Universe or any show that you really ask me about that's gone on for a long period of time. I don't want to hate Steven Universe, but by God, it's getting like, it's testing my patience right now. I've barely watched Steven Universe, so I'm somewhat lost. Yeah, again, I could kind of see that not making sense from someone who hasn't watched the series. Again, there's a ton of like, like not retrospective videos, like tons of other videos that have talked about this topic at length that have actually are deeply ingrained in the show, so they'll know more about it and they'll tell you more about it than I ever could. Do I like stop motion? I love stop motion. I love the stuff that Aardman does. I especially love Leica. Like they're like, by God, Kubo and the Two Strings is like probably one of my favorite stop motion movies, if not my most favorite stop motion movie. With a close second being Paranorman, and that kind of trumped my third favorite, which is The Nightmare Before Christmas by Tom Selleck. And yeah, I have a deep love for stop motion. Thoughts on the amazing world of Gumball? Um, well, first off, I like the fact that it's just an episodic show, and like not much else with continuity, kind of like holding together bits and pieces. But for the most part, each episode can stand on its own footing, so to speak. I love the experimental nature of it. I love how like open they are with just like whoever they work with. Um, like I didn't ever expected them to do like a Final Fantasy VII episode. I never expected them to do a "Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared" episode with the actual creators. I never expected them to address the entire like the Chinese version of Gumball that was made to like sell noodles. That was something I never in a million years thought they would actually do, or like animate or have the other characters be voiced by like, or have their counterparts, sorry, be voiced and like actually fully animated and have like a story behind it. I'm not even sure what's on CN anymore. Tom and Jerry, Scooby Doo, Johnny Bravo, and the Flintstones. They were all your go-to shows. Yeah, CN doesn't really show any of the classic shows anymore. They used to on Boomerang, but that's just sort of stopped. And you can only really get that via the Boomerang app, or their, like, well, not the Boomerang app, it's their streaming service for Boomerang, which actually costs you, like, $5.99 a month, I think. Hey, I'm back. What did I miss? Zach, you missed me going on, like, a 10-minute rant on Steven Universe. That's about it. Have I seen the Emoji Movie? Funnily enough, like, me and Queer, who was, earlier in the chat, they were present. We, in a Discord server, had to watch the entire thing for April Fools before we could actually, watch, or, like, be part of a live stream for the actual, show that we were gonna watch. It was sort of like, let me go back up and check, because I know I've missed some. I have seen the We'll Be Right Back stop motion, like, Bump in the Night stuff on ABC's Saturday morning lineup. Do I like Adventure Time and regular? Okay, okay, like a lot of these are long running shows. Try and keep it like something small if you want to keep asking these questions, because then we're gonna be here for a long time. Because like I can't really give a condensed thoughts on Dragon Ball Z because the series is so long and so expansive and has like just so much to it. That would just be a video in and of itself, that I could make, but I don't want to like have that take up the entire stream. But for stuff like SpongeBob SquarePants, I can just safely say, like, I'm like in like I love the original 3 seasons of SpongeBob. Just like that was my bread and butter for so many years. It was like that was quite literally my childhood. Because like SpongeBob has been around for about as long as I've been around, to be honest. And I'm surprised it's still going. Post movie episodes, there's still some good ones, but they were never as like good as the original. They would never get up to that quality up until around season 9 and season 10. And I think they're just sort of trying to find their footing, and it's sort of coming into its own now, where it's never going to be as good as those first 3, but they're just gonna, make what they want. And regular show and Adventure Time, I followed Adventure Time's lore for a while. I loved it. Like, I was in love with Rebecca Sugar's writing. About the time she left the show is when I just sort of got disinterested. I think I stopped around, God, I want to say it was like when Finn got his arm back. I don't know. I know it's ending soon. So, I mean, it's sad, but I mean, it was kind of at the show's time. Which is sad because it and regular show were its like forerunners for a while. I actually remember regular show a lot more than I did Adventure Time. Mostly because the show's quality was pretty much consistent. Didn't really exactly love the love triangle stuff near the end of the series. But like the finale of regular shows, definitely a finale I won't ever forget. And I'm not gonna spoil it for anyone here who hasn't watched regular show. Just go see it. Even if you haven't watched the series, like, go watch the original, or go watch, like, regular show's episodes, and then just, like, just binge the series, honestly. It's really good. Especially its earlier episodes. Do I like Gravity Falls also? Hey, Wendy. Glad you can make it to the stream. Yes, I did like Gravity Falls. It's pretty much what I would consider almost to be, like, not a perfect cartoon, but it's, like, the most well put together, well crafted, like, the best told cartoon I've ever seen, and that was including the hiatuses. I think, for the most part, Gravity Falls as a show did everything right and did everything as it needed to, and it ended on a pretty much perfect note for what the series was. I still want a season 3, but I'd be okay if Gravity Falls was just left where it was. And that's a series that's only like 2 seasons, so really, if you haven't seen Gravity Falls yet, I highly, highly recommend it. You should not go in spoiled on anything. You should just go in with no knowledge of the series, but know that like there's secrets hidden in every single episode. Try and find them. Be active with like the fan base that hasn't really been active as much for a while on Gravity Falls stuff. And just really get immersed in the series. Also, your KS... Oh, the KSD1 interview is posted. I'll have to check that out soon. Do I remember Coconut Fred? I remember the show. I never watched it. And do I hate Norman the North? Norman the North is alright. It's not alright. It's exactly what you think it is. It's just a bland movie. That's the thing. It's not even like horrendously awful in places either. It's like you could tell that they had a bit of effort in like some of the animation direction they wanted to have happen, but it's just bottom of the barrel, normal, like childish fodder movie. I mean, the most worthy thing of note is the joke that like Rob Schneider is a polar bear, but it really beyond the like base level South Park joke. That's about it. Like that's really anything of note. Otherwise, it's just kind of dull, which is kind of the worst thing it could have been. If it was like horribly bad and there was like actually stuff to talk about, um, but because there's points in the movie where they know they just did it to piss off an older audience and like just talk down to kids, um, and just make like the movie uncomfortable. But they just did it because they knew it was going to happen. It was the same thing with like Ghostbusters, where like I don't know, Ghostbusters 2016, but I already talked about that in an earlier live stream. To this day, I still cry when I watch the final episode of Fraggle Rock. Everything about it is perfect and it captures the emotion of what it's like to leave a friend behind. I really need to watch more of Jim Henson shows. That's like something I've been meaning to do for a while. I've heard so many good things about it. I have seen, for the most part, all of Dinosaur, and I've definitely seen the Muppet Show. But like I need to watch Fraggle Rock. I need like just to get like an idea for like how Jim wrote his shows, like how like also what those shows were about. Like I just need to watch more of his stuff in general. Welcome Sandy Pants to the stream again. Okay, Clint, if I'm not gonna answer any more of the favorite questions, like, because you're kind of getting a little spammy with them. Um, like, I get it. I've seen like I've seen all of them, but just cool it a bit on there. I'll get to them when I get to them. Just like actually like try and talk with other people. I'm not just gonna keep answering questions. This isn't like an AMA. This is sort of just a general discussion stream for everyone. What did I miss? You didn't really miss much. This is just again sort of a talk about whatever stream, Zandy. Like I went on a rant about Steven Universe and Rick and Morty for a bit. But other than that, well, I went on a modern cartoon rant for a bit. We were originally like reading, um, how young are you? I'm 18 going on 19. I don't sound it from the voice, I know. Um, but yeah. I've seen the Muppets on a decent basis. Yeah, that's about where I am at with the Muppets too. It's something I've watched, didn't really like. I watched, liked it. Not much. Not much else more than that. I just, it's just been a while since I've seen it. Everyone's just talking about Fraggle Rock right here, and I'm just sitting here thinking, God, I don't know, like, anything about this show. I'm guessing you haven't seen much of the Disney Afternoon. Actually, I have, but not from the Disney Afternoon block, because that ended, before I ever got a chance to watch it. But I actually watched, like, I guess you could call the leftovers of that, um, through Toon Disney. So I did watch, actually, pretty much all of the shows from the original, Disney Afternoon block. Like Gargoyles, DuckTales, Chippendale Rescue Rangers, The Mighty Ducks, weirdly enough, Quack Pack. Uh, the only ones that I've watched pretty much anything from the Disney Afternoon, even like stuff like Bonkers and that I've seen through Toon Disney, but the only two I haven't are, of course, the Schnookums and Meat show, which I don't think anyone remembers, and Gummy Bears, which I think they can't exactly show now for licensing reasons. The Muppets on ABC is really bad. Oh, right, the Office type sitcom of it. Yeah, I tried getting through a few episodes of that, but like the way it was styled like a mockumentary, it had potential, but it had some good stuff with like trying to have the Muppets like live a real life. And I'll give them this: as it went on, it tried so hard to like actually have strike a balance between the two, but by the end, it was just too late. There was no salvaging the series. People want the Muppet Show, not Kermit. Your enthusiasm. Oh, I love that part. But yeah, that's essentially it. They didn't want a Curb Your Enthusiasm style show. They just wanted the Muppet Show. Okay, this is the last question I'm going to answer because I actually do remember this show fondly, and then I'm just not going to answer anymore. I absolutely love the House of Mouse. Um, that was one of when I was growing up. That was a show I used to always watch like nonstop because it's just such a good concept. Like, what would happen if in like Main Street of, I assume one of the Disney parks because I don't know of any other Main Street or whatever. There's just a nightclub for all the Disney movie characters, and all the characters from other Disney media, and it's run by Mickey Mouse, and like the backstage crew is like the rest of Mickey's friends. It's such a good concept, and it sucks that it didn't last for as long as it did. The only thing is that maybe the execution could have been better because instead of focusing on that aspect of it, they never focused on like the actual movie characters, save for a few episodes. The problem with it was is that instead of doing that and actually focusing on the stories within there, those were always secondary. The main thing was that it was supposed to be a vehicle for the original Mickey Mouse Works shorts, which I think if it had used that as a secondary sort of means of showing the shorts and then focused on the other stuff second, it would have made for a more interesting show. That would probably be my only gripe with it. The Swedish version of the Gummy Bears theme, one of the best ever. Alright, I guess I'll have to look into that. Didn't know there was a Swedish version of the theme song. one show I wish they bring back, Animaniacs. Don't count your blessings with that. They are bringing that back on Hulu, but man, are things not working in its favor. When it was announced, everyone, including myself, was initially really excited. Um, but then, so much more stuff came out about that. First off, they had not consulted any of the original writers, which that's a red flag. They couldn't get back Sherry Stoner, my bad, who was the voice of Slappy and also one of the writers. And when they had a meeting about it, she came back and she was incredibly upset by it and in a bad mood about the result of that, which that's another red flag. The third red flag is that they didn't announce that any of the original cast was coming back, but we only know they're coming back from an outside source, which is Nate Ruger, Tom Ruger's son. Tom Ruger is the creator of, like, Animaniacs, Tiny Toons, and all of that. And that was another huge red flag. The biggest red flag of all is when they, had as the showrunner, they put as the showrunner, rather, Willis E. Wild, who was one of the main writers for, I'll give him credit, some of the better earlier episodes of Family Guy, like PTV and that, but then he's also got on his, and Road to the Multiverse, sorry, that's more in between modern Family Guy and past Family Guy, I'd say. Is that a thing? Is past Family Guy a thing? I know modern Family Guy is, sort of like how modern SpongeBob and season 3 SpongeBob is the thing, but he also wrote episodes like Seahorse Seashell Party, and I think he was like one of the main people who wrote Life of Brian. Basically, he's wrote the controversial episodes on top of that, and those outweigh the good episodes that he wrote. And they have that guy as showrunner for the show without any of the original cast coming back to consult him on that, save for Steven Spielberg. He's like one of the only returning people that we know of that's going to be working on the Animaniacs reboot. They could have made a revival, but nope, they had to fuck with it. And they're all still working in the industry. Every single one of the writers has not retired. The only person who they can't get back is Richard Stone, because, you know, he died. He died, well, I think he actually died, like, while Animaniacs was still running, because Wacko's Wish was not made with music composed by him, but rather Julie Bernstein, which I couldn't tell. But, I at least hope this. I at least hope Willis E. Wild, the showrunner, can, you know, lead the ship in a right direction. I don't want Animaniacs to just become super over-the-top raunchy and way too reliant on the adult jokes, because that's not why people watched Animaniacs. People watched Animaniacs for their take on satire, but they also came because it was just funny. It had, like, really weird ideas, like the Animaniac, or not the Animaniacs, the Warner Brothers and the Warner sister bug Michelangelo while he's painting the Sistine Chapel, and then it's just writing around the situation. It was the way old Looney Tunes shorts were written. And it was like, that they already had that experience working on Tiny Toons Adventures and trying to get into that, you know, mindset, and Animaniacs was sort of the refinement of that. Only now they can work with their own original characters and, you know, make the situations around that. But now, like, I think they're trying to focus on the wrong stuff. I don't know. Maybe with Steven Spielberg at the helm, he can, you know, kind of stop anything bad from happening, I want to say, but I don't know. At this point, I think it's just a lost cause. We'll see. Season 7 prior is Prime Family Guy, mainly because Seth MacFarlane gave a shit and wanted to kill it, and didn't want to kill it then. Um, oh, okay, yes, Family Guy, uh, how do I put this? Up until around Seahorse Seashell Party, and around the time they started over flanderizing the characters, which I want to say was around season 9. I actually didn't have much of a problem with Family Guy as it was, going on. But the more they became self aware, the more they became sort of kind of not obnoxious to their audience, but more complacent and actively kind of angered a little by their own audience. That's kind of where I started to have an issue. They also wanted to do more heavy-handed morals. I didn't have a problem with the fact that they were doing more like heavy-handed subjects and wanted like a serious topic to that, unlike other reviewers. That wasn't my main issue. It was the fact that they were trying to do this. Well, they were trying to have their cake and eat it too. They still wanted to remain really raunchy, but they wanted to tackle these subject matters. That doesn't work. Sometimes it does, like the Stewie therapy thing. That was kind of interesting. Um, and like even some of the earlier seasons of Family Guy did tackle a lot more like it had a balance. It did tackle some of those issues, but it never got in the way of the comedy, even though the comedy was mostly references, but at least it made itself work. Now Family Guy is just sort of it just feels like you could tell the writers who are writing it are just talking directly to the audience and are almost blatantly saying like, we don't want to do this anymore, or okay, here's what you're getting, audience, here's what's happening, this is the thing that's happening. We don't think we don't think Great Gatsby is a good book. Here you go, here's the basic plot points of Mice and Men, kids, here, go take your homework. It's stuff like that that kind of gets to me, because it shows that they just don't give a shit and want it to end. And I feel for them, but at the same time, if you don't give a shit about the product you're making, why should I give a shit about the product that you're making as a consumer? It's the same problem I have with Game Grumps as of right now. In some of them, like the Majora's Mask playthrough, for instance, where Aaron repeatedly doesn't give a shit about his own audience, and then like people are like defending the quality. It's like this whole mess. But the point is, like, he doesn't give a shit about his audience. He's been outwardly like talking about this with his audience on YouTube since like Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door. And whether or not it's a bit, if you don't give a shit, why should I give a shit? If you're a creator and you make a show, even if it's like not good, like Butch Hartman is a good example. Even though Butch Hartman like did really stupid decisions, like he added Chloe, Sparky, and did all of that, you still had the idea that even though the episodes were of like worse quality than the originals that they originally started out from, and were never going to be as iconic, you still had the impression that they at least wanted to make a product and make it serviceable for a younger audience. They at least wanted to do that. And they at least felt like they still gave a shit, even though, they were kind of burnt out by that point. It's when you don't that it's just, I don't know. I'm trying to binge watch the Majora's Mask playthrough, but Aaron's making it hard, and I want to take electric clippers so that gnarly rat's instantaneous. I don't really have a problem with how they look. People always bitch about how they look. I not have a problem with it. I have a problem with how they present themselves, like the 10-minute Power Hour stuff. Ugh. Like, quite literally, they smear what I originally had assumed was shit on the thumbnail on their faces like a bunch of toddlers, and I'm like, is this the content they're putting out now? And I've been like semi-following it, but at the same time, I like unsubbed from their channel a while ago, but then I just come back and I'm like, this is it? Like, this is what's happened? They haven't even tried to make it better? It turns out it was chocolate. But it doesn't change the fact that they were, like, trying to make, like, an easy bake oven sort of thing. Maybe it was supposed to be an April Fool's Day joke that they rushed out late, but that makes it worse. I mean, you could just save the footage for next April Fool's. Whatever. The cutaway gags are what killed Family Guy for me. They literally amount to the writers saying, "We think you're stupid, so laugh at these jangling keys like a 3-year-old." No, the cutaway gags have always done that. They've always been, kind of like, they didn't really relate so much. Okay, here's my issue with the cutaway gags. Before, like, when Family Guy first started out, they served a point in a way. They didn't really, like, go out of their way to be just, like, blatant references to other things. Hang on. It's saying the stream is unavailable on my end. Let me refresh. Okay, we're back. Where was I? Oh, Family Guy's cutaways served a point in the beginning. They didn't always, you know, like, reference other stuff. That was more for what the TV was supposed to be for. And they were supposed to, you know, give you like, it was supposed to act as, like, a comparison to the situation they were in. Like, oh, like, this is worse than the time blank happened. And it's supposed to, like, it was supposed to show, like, how bad it was in comparison to the situation they were in. It was supposed to, that was supposed to be its bounce up for comedy. And the references were, like, relegated to the TV, but they still interspersed their own comedy in between, showing how, like, stupid some of, like, modern or even older TV was. Now, they just, like, never use, like, the one core thing, like, of them sitting on the couch, like, that iconic thing. That never happens until, like, the very end of the episode. It's fallen into a formula, and now the cutaway gags, those are all they are. They're just the references, on top of, like, oh, this is just the situation he is. Like, Peter wanted to be a lion tamer, instead of a person working at a toy factory. Shows him as a lion tamer, says, "It's true, I did want to be a lion tamer." That's the whole thing. That's the whole cutaway. And it serves no purpose. Anywho. Let's get off of that. What's my opinion on Channel Awesome not uploading a Nostalgia Critic video this week on their YouTube channel? We're still on that topic. Okay, again, I'm not gonna make this a whole Channel Awesome stream, but I do want to point this out. First off, did they not release a video on the YouTube channel? I know they did on the site, which was the Jack and Jill review, but did they, like, not post it on there? If so, that's kind of strange. Because they would usually upload that. They usually always upload it on Wednesday. No, they haven't. Oh. Huh. I think they're saving something. I don't know. That's a little weird. But I've seen weirder. And plus, it's just the one Nostalgia Critic video. The fact that it's not been uploaded to YouTube is kind of weird. But, like, it's still being uploaded on Channel Awesome. The review still exists. And it's on Channel Awesome right now, but yeah. Frankly, I've said everything I'm ever going to say on Channel Awesome. I'm ready to let the dust settle and move on to other shit going on. Yeah, exactly. That's why the stream is named the Let the Dust Settle stream. It thinks it's quality food like a cake or cooked by a 60-watt light bulb. I love the fact that they weren't even trying to make quality food, by the way. I'm still not over that. And then they just, like, Danny at least tried to make something funny out of it. Aaron was just, like, just gonna, like, rub it all over his face for the laughs. Just, like, not even care about making something that, you know, children could make. I don't know if this is part of a persona, if it's still a bit or not, because I don't know if it's part of, like, the whole persona thing, because Majora's Mask has me very much questioning that after what he said, but whatever it is, it's, like, not working. And people kind of hate it. You followed through on, like, very few ideas. You followed through a little bit on Table Flip. You never followed through that much on G Club, because that was just a terrible idea from the get-go, because it was supposed to be Game Grumps without the gameplay. And even though everyone was like, you don't watch Game Grumps for the gameplay, you watch it for the commentary. Well, newsflash, G Club failed. What the fuck were they gonna do? Like, they had, like, little to no views. It was a dead show on arrival, because the show was literally called Game Grumps. The one thing I'm at least okay with is that it's gone back to just the 2-episode-a-day format that they originally had with John, and to a lesser extent, like, Dan and the rest. I'm sad that they had to get rid of Steam Train and Grumpcade. The rest for doing that. But I do know they have their reasons. But yeah, like, Ross is currently working on a game show, or not a game show. Still got Channel Awesome on the brain. He's working on a Game-averse pilot, which is a new animated show. He's not got the pilot done yet. He's still, like, I think it's done. It's out of the storyboard stages. That's what I think, like, it's being created by Ross, co-created by Aaron, with art by Crooked Glasses. I think that's where Aaron and the rest are putting their, like, effort right now. Which, that's fine. I just wish they'd be a little more transparent about that stuff. To their fans. And, you know, not, like, shit all over them like they, like, more so Aaron's been doing. Here's a fun fact for you. If you look in the fine print on the side of a box of Pop-Tarts, there's a warning that they could be a potential fire risk if left unattended in the toaster. Oh, God! Well, I think anything would be a potential risk if they're in a toaster for that long. Like, I think even bread would do that, but, like, yeah, I could see a Pop-Tart being flammable like that. Like, just, now it's just on fire now. Like, oh, you left it in there for, like, 30 minutes? Nope, now the toaster's just, it's smoldering. The entire house is burnt down. Fuck you, Pop-Tarts. I mean, it is made flavored. Yeah, I really don't have much else to talk about. If you guys want me to, you know... Now I wish I hadn't, like... Now I wish I wasn't so mean to the Clark guy earlier. If you guys want to, like, talk about content, we could talk more about the Channel Awesome stuff, because stuff has been happening, and it is sort of the end of the stream. And I think if anyone's, you know, watching these... Anyway, I know random is, but if anyone is, watching these, like, in a row, I don't think, like, no one's gonna get to the end of this video. Or at the end of this stream once it's uploaded. Very few will. And for those of you that do, you're very dedicated, and I thank you for that. But as for, like, topics of discussion, I don't think they'll get to the end. So I think we're safe to, you know, just talk about Channel Awesome stuff without it becoming, like, the whole rest of the stream. Happy dreams, guys. Oh, are you leaving, Henrik? If you do, see ya. I'm sorry I didn't really talk to you much this stream. But yeah, sweet dreams. Bread will singe before it ignites. Pop-Tarts supposedly just spontaneously ignite. Yeah, oh, okay, yeah, that's... Alright, yeah, that was what I was thinking, too. What, like, Pop-Tarts just, like, spontaneously combusting. That was the idea that I was having. So they just, like, burst then. They just, like, catch on fire automatically if you just leave them unattended for a while. Yeah. This has been a really weird stream. This stream didn't really have a purpose. This has just been more of, like, another vent fest. I'm happy you guys have stuck around for this. I was originally gonna have gameplay on so that, like, this wouldn't be, like, just this blank background, but, like, no one suggested anything. So I just feel like this was just kind of another, like, podcast sort of stream. Which I didn't want it to turn into, but I guess that's what it is. It's the sugar, the glycerin. It boils and then poof. Ugh. I'll note to self, never put sugar in a toaster. Alright, I'm also seeing a massive drop up. It's also getting a little late. I know this might be a little early to call the stream here, but, yeah, I realize there's not a lot of, engagement this time, and it's just the stream's kind of just sort of dying down, and I know people have to go to bed. I should have probably scheduled this earlier, but that's my own fault. I do want to thank you to all who, like, showed up and talked about this. If you want, you can, like, continue the discussions in the comments once this is uploaded, but yeah. I might answer a few more questions, and then we'll probably call it around probably 10:50, maybe 10:45 my time. Sugar ignites at 500 degrees. Well, how hot does a toaster usually get? Like, I assume a toaster is hotter than 500 degrees. I'm beat from scrubbing my sink and stove. Why can't everything be self-clean? That's definitely a conundrum. I would love for everything to be self-clean. Self-cleansed or whatever. EGM, hi. Oh! Hi, Pop-Tart. Yeah, I also go by another moniker on other, media outlets, EGM or Extreme Gamer Man, or whatever, that sort of name. Poppy is also someone from the Cypher Hunter, this, Cypher Hunter Discord server that I mentioned earlier. It's really late/early over here, always fun to hang out. Yeah, I'm glad to just have these little streams in between, even though not a lot of people usually watch these streams. It, like, for the people that do, thank you, like, so much for coming out to these. These are just, like, really nice little distractions. And the new Sonic video is still coming out, by the way. The new, like, an actual full-fledged video, which I haven't done in a while. I really should get back to that. I'm much better, like, edited and scripted than I am, when I'm just off the cuff. I mean, or like, when I have something to work with, pretty much. I mean, these streams are just kind of there. These are just something to put on in the background. I really should have, like, someone else here, in them, so I can just, like, bounce off of them and just talk, random discussion on, just random topics, so it can actually be, like, a fully fledged podcast. But other than that, yeah. I can't believe you're YouTube famous now. Thank you, Poppy. Yeah, it's weird. It's kind of surreal that I keep, like, still having people comment on, like, the Change the Channel videos, and just talking on my other videos, and, you know, having a, like, constant discussion, and just people still showing up, and still, like, engaging with the channel. It's, like, bonkers. it's indescribable. And the fact that it's still happening even when I talked about this in another stream before, it's just insane. Toasters are designed to never heat above 350 degrees, so it's most likely someone who left some Pop-Tarts in the toaster oven that caused the fire, which led to the warning on the box. Okay, so they just left it in and it just kept heating and heating and heating over time. Because I was about to say, I don't think a toaster goes up to like 500 degrees. That's about like, I would think that's like more in an oven, like an actual legitimate oven. That's a crime against Pop-Tarts, the lone life emoticon. Pop-Tarts do not deserve such tragedies to happen to them. That's why the warning happens. Never forget the fallen Pop-Tart brethren. Also, sorry, Poppy, you came in, like, really late into the stream. We were actually kind of just about to wrap up for now. And we're about to, like, wrap up in 3 minutes. If you want, I could talk with you on, like, the Discord server just, you know, afterwards. And just, you know, discuss things. That also actually reminds me. Once I actually get more of the channel going, would any of you, and this is just an idea I've just had bouncing around in my head, and I wasn't sure how to convey it, would any of you, want an actual Discord server, like, for the SwizzlyBubbles channel? Once actual, like, more content starts coming around and I sort of find my, like, YouTube niche in a way. Oh, it's okay. Oh, thank you, Poppy. I know, now I feel like I should keep the stream going a little longer, because you just came in late, and I feel bad, because, like, this stream's not even 2 hours long. I feel like we haven't really talked about much. I mean, we've talked about a lot, but it just feels like, this is a bit of a wasted stream. Warnings are there because at least one person has done it. That's true. I don't feel bad. It's... I do feel bad. It's... I don't know. I don't personally join those, so I'm the wrong person to ask. No. No, Bobby, it's fine. Like, I just feel bad because I feel like I let my audience down because these streams are just, like... I get it. It's not the content a lot of people want to see. But at the same time, for those that are here, I just want to, you know, make it the best content I can as of this moment in time, which, again, is why I'm, like, not really comfortable with just having just the regular live segment. I feel like there should be something in between to spice things up. It's not a wasted stream. I know. It's... whatever. But yeah, I do think that as of this point right now, I am gonna call it. Poppy, if you or Komodo or anyone else just wants to talk on the Cypher Hunters server, I'd be more than welcome to ask. And I mean, I guess if I want to just talk about another Discord server, if any of you want to join, there's also, like, the Metastuck thing, which was the Homestuck server that I mentioned earlier. There's also a Discord server for that. Otherwise, yeah, the stream's kind of just sort of coming to a lull now, so I think it's best to end it here. It's 10:50. That's where I said it. If you guys want to talk to me, feel free to, like, reach out to me on Twitter, on Discord, or wherever you can find me, and I'll be happy to talk to you about stuff. So, I'm just gonna maybe read one or two more. At least one stupid person did it. That's why there are warnings on toilet brushes, telling people not to brush their teeth with it. Alright, that's a good note to end it off on. And I'd like to join any sort of, like... I'm glad you think that, Poppy. Alright. That's pretty much it. The next video will be out hopefully this week. If not, next week, most definitely it will be out. Again, it's going to be going over uh, the different eras of Sonic and how, like, they've had experimentation with, like, Sonic's formula over the years and how that's kept it relevant. Not exactly good per se, but still kept Sonic relevant in the public eye. Blah, 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 yada, yada. You'll see it when it comes out. So, that's pretty much it. Thank you all so much for watching during this nearly 2-hour live stream. I greatly appreciate everyone that's checked out the channel since then, who stayed around. I'm especially thankful to everyone who has, you know, given their, like, thanks to the channel, who said that they've... I especially want to, like, give a special thanks to any of you who've said that this channel has helped you out, you love the entertainment. It means so much, and I can't, like, repay you enough for that. I wish I could repay you in some way, shape, or form. Maybe later. But for now, take care, everyone, and I will see you all for whatever I plan next. Catch you all later.